For generations, the Hopi people have shared a vision of a future time of great change, a time of purification. Many of their warnings align with what we're seeing today: the climate disasters, widespread social and political conflict, and a world that feels increasingly disconnected. This isn't about fear or any kind of a hopelessness. It's about awareness and what to do with all of that, what to do when we are seeing these things. The prophecy gives us not just a warning, but a choice, and we have to choose. We can either continue down a destructive path or shift towards harmony and balance. It's only a question, my friend, on which path are you? Like, which path are you choosing? Because I want to take you a little bit onto the story of this prophecy because it gets quite interesting. We are in the time of purification, and Hopi elders describe a period when the earth will undergo a great cleansing. They call it the time of purification, and it's marked by natural disasters, pandemics, and social breakdowns. These aren't punishments, they're consequences of humanity's choices, our disconnection from nature, unchecked greed, and exploitation. And it's actually happening right now. If we look around a little bit, we have rising sea levels, we have uncontrollable wildfires, extreme weather events that are not random. They're the Earth's way of rebalancing. It's a wake-up call for us to change how we live. The Hopi teach us that if we continue ignoring these warnings, the suffering will only intensify. But they also reminded us this is also a chance to realign. By returning to harmony with nature, we can move forward instead of repeating the same mistakes. And I feel many people are waking up to this realization. Many people have recognized that there's power in reconnection with nature. Like, we experience more clarity when we spend more time in nature. We recognize we could be a bit wiser. And when we start appreciating nature and nurturing it with a greater care, something within us changes as well, right? We recognize that we become kinder, we become more aware, we become more careful, and we start caring for one another with a greater level of compassion. And that's what Hopi people reminded us of. They also reminded us of the importance of unity. The prophecy warns of growing division among people, races, nations, religions, and even families. And it may sound very familiar to many of us. The more divided we become, the harder it will be to address the challenges we face as a collective, and therefore harder it will be to resolve them. The Hopi remind us that we are all one, regardless of race, nationality, or beliefs. We are part of the same human family. This is a call to drop our egos, my friends. Stop pointing fingers and begin working together. It's so interesting how much so many of us love to see other people fail rather than supporting them to find a greater understanding. Hopi said, unity doesn't mean we all have to think the same or agree on everything, but it does mean respecting each other, listening, and finding common ground. Without unity, we cannot survive the challenges ahead. And to me, this is quite powerful. They also reminded us about the choice between two paths. And I think you've heard a lot about this. Like, some people are staying on the 3D world, some people are actually shifting into the 5D world. So it doesn't matter what's your belief around this. When we think about unity, it is leading us onto a completely different path. They said that this is the most crucial part of the prophecy. Humanity stands at a crossroads. One path is the path we're on right now, dominated by materialism, greed, and disconnection. It leads to destruction of the environment, of communities, and ultimately ourselves. The second path is a spiritual one, guided by balance, respect for all life, and harmony with Earth. This path doesn't mean rejecting technology or modern life. It means using them responsibly in ways that sustain rather than destroy. The choice, my friend, is yours and mine. It's ours. Every action, every decision we make adds to the path or the other, to one path or another. So ask yourself, which path are you choosing right now? What kind of future do you want to live for your children and grandchildren? This is a powerful question that puts us a bit into a reflection, like what else can I change? What else can I align even more with nature? There was another reminder. The rise of rainbow warriors. The Hopi prophecy speaks of the rainbow warriors. These aren't literal warriors, of course, my friends, but people of all races, colors, and backgrounds who will come together to heal the earth. This is where hope comes in, they said. The prophecy tells us that it's not too late. There are people all over the world, scientists, activists, teachers, and everyday individuals. Thank you to all of you who are doing the work, who are stepping up to protect nature, build communities, and spread awareness. You don't need to be a leader or have special skills to join this movement. Each of us has the power to make a difference, whether it's through small changes in how we live, how we treat one another, or how we advocate for change. We can all be rainbow warriors, they said. So, doesn't matter what is your position, as long as you stand with nature, as long as you stand with the cosmos, you are a part of the change. As long as you're asking yourself, like, how can you become the change that you wish to see? As long as you can hold up a vision of a new world, you're part of the change. As long as you're asking yourself, what else can I change today so the change can be visible in my life, you're part of the change. And they said the signs have already been fulfilled. The Hopi prophecy includes 9 signs that would signal the arrival of this time of change. Many elders believe all these signs have already come to pass. They say that once these signs will be visible, it will represent the change of the world from 4th world into the 5th world. The first sign, they said, was the coming of the white-skinned men like Pahana, but not living like Pahana. Men who took the land that was not theirs, and men who struck their enemies with thunder. This refers to the arrival of Europeans who took native lands and brought firearms. The second sign was our lands will see the coming of spinning wheels filled with voices. This describes the settlers' covered wagons. The third sign was a strong beast like a buffalo, but with great long horns, will overrun the land in large numbers. This speaks to the introduction of cattle, which replaced the buffalo. The fourth sign was the land will be crossed by snakes of iron. This clearly refers to railroads. The fifth sign was the land shall be crisscrossed by a giant spider's web. This refers to power lines, telecommunication networks, and the internet. The sixth sign was the land shall be crisscrossed with rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun. This is a description of modern highways and paved roads. The seventh sign, you will hear of the sea turning black and many living things dying because of it. This refers to oil spills and pollution. The eighth sign, you will see many youth who wear their hair long like our people. Come and join the tribal nations to learn their ways and wisdom. This occurred during the cultural awakening of the 1960s and 1970s, as many sought indigenous teachings and ways of life. And right now we are seeing many people are spreading the indigenous wisdom, and many people are learning all these ancient teachings and embodying them in their daily life, which is a beautiful thing that's happening. It's a part of the awakening. And the ninth sign, you will hear of dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with a great crash. It will appear as a blue star. This is sometimes interpreted as a falling space station or satellite such as Skylab in 1979. The point is that when we see all these great things that have been created on this planet, they knew something needs to change. People became like gods. They started thinking like we can do everything, like we are in control right here, but we're not in control of the planet. We're not in control of the nature, and we are not in control of this universe. When we lose our connection with our divinity, we will be reminded to reconnect once again. So they called about the transition. They talked about the transition to the fifth world. According to Hopi tradition, the time of purification marks the end of the fourth world and the beginning of the fifth world. The Hopi believe that humanity has lived through 4 previous worlds, each destroyed due to imbalance and disconnection. The fourth world, our current reality, is on the brink of collapse, but this doesn't mean the end of the world. The prophecy teaches that a new world, the fifth world, can emerge, but it will require us to make a conscious choice. The fifth world is described as a time of renewal, balance, and harmony with the earth. It will not come automatically. It all depends on the actions we take right now. Those who align themselves with nature, respect all living things, and work for peace and unity will help bring forth this new earth. So, what does it all mean for us right now? It means we need to wake up. The Hopi elders have shared this wisdom not to scare us, but to prepare us. We still have a choice, but that choice must be made now. Remember these 5 reminders, my friend. This is the time of purification. Acknowledge the earth's warnings. The second, unity is essential. Division will destroy us, but together we are strong. The third one, choose the right path. Balance and sustainability over greed and destruction. The fourth reminder, become a warrior. Live with purpose. Protect the earth and inspire others. This is the light warrior, right? And the fifth reminder, the signs have already been fulfilled. The time for action is now. The Hopi have a saying, we're the ones we've been waiting for. It's up to us. Change begins with each one of us, here and now. The prophecy reminds us the fifth world is waiting. The question is, will we rise to meet it? So my friend, This is not something that you should be scared about. The changes are happening right now. We are seeing them all around us. More we align with what we feel deep inside of our hearts that is the right thing to do, that is connected with the laws of nature, and that will serve us as humanity to experience what we know that we came here to experience, which is wholeness, which is joy, which is health, which is empowerment, which is harmony. We will do the right thing. And you don't need to be afraid when you're seeing these signs. You will be protected as long as you're doing the right thing. So, my friend, I hope you found great value in today's message, some inspiration to keep doing what is right, because sometimes it feels like you are not rewarded for it. It feels like maybe people are turning against you. It maybe feel like nothing is changing even though you're being the change. Keep persisting in these acts and eventually you will see beautiful results. But also keep noticing where you're still, are being irrational, too emotional. Remember of the analogy of ancient Greeks. They talked about the rider and the horse. So it's your thoughts that are riding emotions. And sometimes we become too passionate about something and we start pushing our ideas to others. And that's when we create some challenges and conflict. So let's see where there's a space for compassion. Or maybe surround yourself with people who are on the same mission. So you will notice that it's more natural than it seems when you're surrounded with those who just don't care. When you surround yourself with right people, you will notice people are actually naturally working on very incredible changes. And it becomes much easier then to become a part of the solution rather than being a part of the problem. So don't lose faith in your own capabilities, my friend, and don't lose trust in the bigger plan that is unfolding for us. Know that you are here for a big reason, because if there would be no reason, you would not be here. And every time you act with purpose, you're acting on that big or bigger reason, bigger plan. So live with purpose, my friend. Every single day, ask yourself, am I living a purposeful life? Am I doing an act of service today? To whom I can serve today? To whom I can bring some light today? And am I being an example of what I want to see, from what I want to bring forward for my kids? Or am I a person or an example I would love to see on the world more frequently? Just ask yourself these questions and see what comes up. We all have a lot of work to do, a lot of healing to do. But we also need to remember that healing is not something that you just retreat from the world. It's every single day reprogramming yourself, like reminding yourself that we all do mistakes, but it's reflection then on these mistakes, reflection on our emotional reactions, and noticing what thoughts are really triggering these emotions, what thoughts are triggering this kind of reactions, and see if we could reframe it. And then the daily life is the daily practice. When you go into the world, you are practicing being a healthier human being. So when you go into the world, know that you are an example and someone may be inspired by you. Always know that. My friend, I will leave you here. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting as well. I hope it inspired you in some ways. If yes, you can get a copy of it or any other painting of mine on AttractPassion.com. Go and check it out. you can support this mission there. So thank you so much, and also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community, Attract Passion. Till next time, one love.